It is a special edition of a One Beer Friday edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct, live from the Omaha Baseball Village.
It is popping.
Where today, what was that?
It's popping.
It is popping right now. A
Oh,
little busier than 10 a.m. when we started this morning, huh?
Yeah, big time. Look, Alex Gordon jersey right there. We got Aaron Judge jersey right there.
These are some baseball fans.
They are.
We are powered today by KRT Athletic Muscle Cream, providing increased performance to people who suffer from muscle fatigue and cramps, and by Cross Train Brewing, Nebraska fresh and always evolving. And on a day like today, when temps are approaching 90 degrees, 1620 The Zone hydration sponsor is Coke Zero Sugar. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Yes. Take a taste. Josh Peterson, Matt McMaster. We got Josh Otson here. We got Jake Janicek back in our 1620 The Zone studio following game one of the 75th Men's College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska, where Coastal Carolina wins their 24th game in a row. 7-4. They scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Matt, we were wondering as we're watching this game, are we going to have extras? Are we going to have extras? And then they get 1 run, and then they get a couple insurance run. They little dangerous in the top of the ninth, but they get the outs, and now they move on, and they will go to the winner's bracket, and they'll play on Father's Day night against the winner of Oregon State and Louisville, and that one starts in about an hour and a half.
It was one of those games, Josh, that it did kind of feel like, all right, we're probably going to go to extras here. I mean, it was 2 very competitive teams where, there were multiple plays. We're talking inches in terms of robbing a home run, having a catch in the corner. A very weird inning where you have 3 hit by pitches from a pitcher who was playing really well up to that point. And then even the rally that ended up winning the game for Coastal Carolina in the 8th, there was 2 outs during that. Just
whole time.
Totally came out of nowhere. So a really competitive game. And look, winners win. And Kevin Schnall and Coastal Carolina and the Chanticleers have proven that, hey, they're winners. 24 in a row. You don't do that by being lucky. You do that by being good. They were good today. I give a lot of credit, though, to this Arizona team. They fought. They lost to, like I said, very good
hottest
Coastal Carolina team. But at the same time, Arizona, they got the stuff to make a little bit of a run, too. Their tournament is not over by any means at all. It's definitely going to be tougher, obviously, when you start in the loser's bracket as opposed to the winner's bracket. But a very competitive game and a hell of a way to kick off what will be a very entertaining, a very exciting, and a pretty open 75th anniversary of the College World Series.
Yeah, it really, really was. Coastal Carolina had the lead. Arizona takes the lead. They go up 4-3 in the middle portion of the game, and then Coastal came back, tied it. And then, as we mentioned, they got those runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, so they move on to the winner's bracket. And now we will be on for the next hour and 4 minutes until pregame coverage with John, Gary, and Happer for Oregon State and Louisville. We're walking around. We've been moseying our way all around the OBV today. We hit up Dingerville a little bit earlier. You've commented on multiple times. A lot of Beaver fans.
A lot of Beaver fans here. I'm impressed by the Beaver fans that have shown up here to Oregon, Omaha.
That would be impressive.
That'd be impressive. But coming. I don't know if they're all from Corvallis, but it's definitely been the number 1 shirt that I've seen here in the baseball village so far.
Wow.
Now, granted, when we come here tomorrow for LSU and Arkansas,
a lot of purple.
A lot of purple, maybe even a little bit of red supporting Dave Van Horn.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, it's going to be a hell of a game, too. If you thought this one was good between Arizona and Coastal Carolina, Oregon State versus Louisville, that is going to be a heck of a game as well.
Yeah.
Like we said, Gary and John kind of mentioned it in their pregame, a weird field of groups here in the College World Series.
Sure, yeah.
But a good weird. A very welcoming weird. A lot of good teams, a lot of different styles of play. That's what happens when you have 7 different conferences represented. 6 different conferences and 1 independent in Oregon State. But heck of a way to kick off this College World Series. Only going to continue to be entertaining.
Yep, should be a whole lot of fun. So we will be with you for the next hour or so and get you ready for that game coming up tonight. Otherwise, on the show today, on the program, as we send you into the weekend, it's so interesting, Matt. All the time, every year when this thing starts on a Friday, it's a weekend for everybody, but it just feels so different because we got the ball all day long today, tomorrow, so, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll send people into the weekend as they're perhaps in their cars on their way home, and maybe they are heading home and they're not coming down here with
Not
a variety
yet.
of things.
Not yet. They should, though.
They should.
This is an incredible what they got going on at the Omaha Baseball Village right now. It's a party, but it's a well put together party. Some great food, some great drinks. We were talking about moseying around.
Yeah,
these tents, man. It's a whole nother level this year. I mean, there's a lot of great NCAA gear, but there's also a couple, miscellaneous vendors. If you're a travel baseball player or a travel baseball parent,
seen a lot of those.
Good Lord.
Dude, we got some bats on our table, and people keep stopping by.
Well, we got the pedos, torpedoes.
Yeah, many questions about these Tucci bats, many questions on many sides.
Yes, and we're right by the Tucci
yeah.
bat stand over there where we've just been hearing the pinging of the baseball all day.
Yeah.
People taking their hacks. I think they have a velocity
yes, they do.
over there as well, which I think we heard some big cheers because someone set the record.
Oh, congratulations to that
to whoever
person.
did that.
Oh, awesome.
But it's a party right
Yeah, it certainly is.
really
Other things that we will get to today. So we're working our way through the Big Ten Conference. We talked about the most important game for three schools in our first show of the day during the Connor Happer show, Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State. We will look at Michigan. We will look at USC. We will look at Iowa. Three teams that came up earlier, Matt, when we were talking about those other three teams. So we will talk about that. There was something that we had on the docket that we never got to, and that's something that you have titled Matt McComplaints.
Yes.
Matt McComplaints.
I have a lot of complaints.
Yeah, I actually added that word to my Word document. So now it's in the dictionary.
Are we doing this right
now?
No.
Oh, I'm just saying. I'm just setting up what we got going on.
Okay, beautiful.
So we got that. It's a couple other leftovers that we just had no chance to get to earlier today, whether it's about baseball or otherwise, as we get you ready for tonight's game. By the way, I wanted to give another shout out. We talked about Jack Mitchell earlier on, where he was hoping to get to $10,000 raised for his walk of shame, because if he did, he was going to get a matching number. He hit that during our show earlier. The number now, Matt, is closing in on $23,000 when you count the match, that $10,000 match. And I believe he is coming to a close right now. He just has a few minutes. Yeah, he says he's about 30 minutes out from finishing at Broadcast House. He says he's pushing through the pain, and he says you can also help alleviate that with some final donations to Morning Hope. So it's a great cause. The 10-year anniversary, sadly, of Jack's father passing away unexpectedly, and so a cause that is near and dear to his heart. And if you want to help out, Matt and I both sent some money their way over the last 24 hours. We would love you to do it, and certainly Jack would as well.
1011 News has it was 1011, right? Who did the story on Jack? Who did the feature story on Jack? Just an incredible story, and you've known Jack for a while. I've known Jack for a while too, and how much this walk means to him, and how much his father meant to him, and everybody goes through grief, right?
Yep.
So to help people alleviate that grief and fight their battles, it's absolutely incredible. And he's been walking since 8 a.m.
Yeah, I was going to say, we were, I remember I got back from my run, and he was basically walking. And, the whole day, you and I have been down here. We've been down here since before 10. He was that was the early stages. And now it's closing in on 5 o'clock.
We've been moseying around the Omaha Baseball Village, stuffing our mouths with euros.
Yes, and then a lot of sitting.
Snacks.
A lot of sitting.
So much sitting.
Sitting here, sitting there, sitting all over the place. So
our steps, though, I do want to give us a little bit of credit. They have to be past 10,000 at this point.
I'm at 17 on the day.
I don't think I've passed 10,000 steps in 6 months.
Let's go. Congratulations.
Burning calories, baby.
Matt.
Oh, no way. I'm at 7,000
Oh, well, you'll get there. We still got to walk after the game back to our cars. And I know you're doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be a night for Mr. McMaster.
It'll be a night, and you'll find out tomorrow morning.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that's a great reminder that we will be back on the air tomorrow morning.
Yes.
At 10 o'clock. We'll be on until 12:40, and then we'll be on in between. And that will be ahead of the game for the ages, Arkansas and LSU. Like you said a few minutes ago, this place is hopping right now.
It is.
What is it going to be like 24 hours from this moment in time? Bonkers.
Pandemonium.
Yeah.
Pandemonium.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about the tickets, the get-in prices, and spicy. Good luck finding tickets.
We got to find out what the get-in price right now is for. Let's go to ticketsforless.com because the last time I checked was yesterday, and we were at $260 for just to get it.
Just to get in.
This isn't even talking about trying to get a nice seat or anything like
Yep.
that. Just to get in. Let's go here. LSU, Arkansas, Game 4. Currently, tickets are going for.
As it loads.
It will load. $240.
$240. Yep. Yeah, and then the good seats are.
If you want to, you want to know what behind.
You want to hang out like where Connor Happer sits. How much we caught?
$844.
Think about that. They pay Connor Happer to do that.
Yeah,
and other people.
What a lucky son of a gun!
Other
Connor
people are going to
Happer
pay
is.
$800, and they're going to pay Connor Happer to do that. So we'll talk about that game though tomorrow, and we'll talk a little bit later about this Oregon State and Louisville matchup. We will come back and wrap up the hour as we just kind of get all of our clock stuff situated. As we mentioned, I mean, basically, Matt, we're starting the happy hour here on this One Beer Friday. Let us know what you're drinking with the hashtag One Beer Friday. We'll give it the retweet. We stopped by Dingerville earlier.
Not only did we stop by Dingerville and have some great cross-strain beers,
yeah.
we met the boys.
We met
Mr. Cross and Mr. Strain.
We did indeed. Shout out to Doug and the rest of the crew there over at Cross Strain for taking care of us. Had a lovely time earlier, but let us know what you're drinking as the weekend arrives, and we'll give that the old retweet on the Twitter feed and see how you are celebrating another great weekend. Really, I know that technically it's not the summer yet. Certainly it feels like.
What do you mean it's not the summer?
Well, technically the summer is like June 21st. Technically.
I
agree. I'm not disagreeing. That's why I added technically. To me, summer, Memorial Day. That's summertime.
As soon as it's 80 degrees for multiple days,
you're good to go. It's summertime.
Summer.
Memorial Day. Summer starts Memorial Day. Or when kids get out of school. That's summertime.
Chicago kids just got out of school today.
Just today?
Well,
it's June 13th?
They had to delay it a week.
Was there like a snow day or something?
It was called the Democratic National Convention.
Oh, that was in August. What did that have to do with school?
They had to delay it a week.
They delayed school?
They delayed the
because
start
of the DNC?
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that. I thought it would have been.
What my mom told me.
Yeah, that might be. She might be wrong.
Well, she works at CPS.
Okay, she's probably right.
Right.
Yeah, okay, never mind. We're not going to disparage anyone's mothers here on the program today.
But it is Father's Day weekend. Shout out to
It is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. We'll be talking about that as we get into Sunday. All right, we'll come back. We'll finish up this abbreviated first hour of the show. I think also that our good friend, who I was hanging out with a lot this week, Austin, I think he might be stopping by.
He should be stopping.
Yeah, he's doing TikToks or something right now.
He's doing his time lapse. By the way, he told us his route he's doing for his TikTok.
Yeah.
It's a long route.
It's a long route.
So hopefully he'll be back here.
Hope to see him. More to come here on this special edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct, 1620 The Zone. Josh Peterson, Matt McMaster here on this special edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct as we're getting you ready for Game 2 of the 2025 Men's College World Series. Oregon State, Louisville. Pregame starts in 50 minutes, and the game starts just after 6 o'clock. We will get back to another edition of College Football Summer School to kick off the 5 o'clock hour. But right now, Matt, you texted me last night, and you want to complain about some things.
Yes.
What is this called? Matt's Mick Complaints.
I am Matt McMaster.
Yeah.
For those. By the way, hi, everybody who's walking through the Omaha Baseball Village. I have a lot of complaints. I'm a complaining human. I like to bitch. I like to moan.
I've hung out with you now since 10 o'clock today, so about 7 hours.
Yeah.
And it's just been pretty much constant you. I don't feel like you've complained a lot.
No, because
Are you trying to impress us?
My attitude, because this is a grind, right? What we're doing here.
I'm having a great time.
Oh, I'm having a great time too. But I know that when we get to day 8,
you'll be tired.
Yeah.
Sleepy.
But so my attitude this entire time has been smile and wave, be a positive light and whatnot.
Sure.
But that is all really just hunkering down all of the negativity and complaints that I have. And so I feel like this is an incredible forum in front of all these wonderful people at the Omaha Baseball Village.
Yeah.
To just get things off of my chest.
Okay.
Of like things that we need to do better as
Okay.
a society. Okay. So starting off, my number one complaint, Josh Hodson has heard this before. We're losing creativity in movies. Okay.
Oh, wow. That's not where I thought we were going.
We are absolutely just failing society with the lack of creativity we have. I went to the Thunderbolts. Okay. This was 3 weeks ago. Great movie, by the way. Original.
But you just said we're losing creativity.
Once again, wait for me. Let me get there.
Okay.
My next Matt McComplaint is Josh Peterson won't let me get to my point. All right? So don't end up on this list. All right? So I go to the movies 3 weeks ago, and I kept track of what the trailers were and what type of movies they were. Okay? Sequel.
You texted me about this. I remember now.
I did.
Well,
I did.
hot.
That is very hot. How'd it get that way?
I don't know.
All right, talk amongst yourselves.
Sequel.
Okay.
Reboot. An original movie. Sequel. Reboot, remake.
Wait, they showed that many trailers?
Yes.
It's like 10 trailers.
It was 7 trailers.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay? There was only one original film made.
What was
All
that?
Right? F1 coming out with Brad Pitt. Actually, very
and that's
exciting.
based on like real life, so it almost doesn't count. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
So it was Now You See Me 3, Karate Kid, the Mission Impossible movie, Jurassic Park, Predator, another Tron movie, another Fantastic Four movie.
Yep.
We've had multiple Tron movies. We've had 2 Fantastic Four movies. We have way too many Predator movies, so much so now the Predators are like the good guys. That's like what we've had to do.
They become the protagonists.
Jurassic Park. How many new superstars are now in Jurassic Park? Scarlett Johansson's in Jurassic Park. This is ridiculous.
Matt's complaint sounds like the Spaceballs 2 teaser trailer.
Okay, here's the thing about Spaceballs 2.
Oh, interesting. This is a sequel that Matt's okay with.
I am really okay with
All
Spaceballs
animals
2.
are equal. Some are more equal than others.
Here's why I'm okay with Spaceballs 2. Because Spaceballs 1 was made in 1988, all right? And clearly it was just
It's been a long time.
It was piggybacking off of the success
of
Star Wars,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Star Wars didn't deserve to have a parody movie. Okay, Star Wars, it was incredible. All right, it was perfect.
Oh,
right?
I see. Okay.
It was clearly just a cash grab of like, hey, we're going to make fun of this so we could get a lot of money. So here's Spaceballs.
Yeah.
But if there is now, 36 years later, a franchise that deserves to be made fun of,
It's Star Wars.
it's Star Wars.
Star Wars today.
So Spaceball 2, give it to me. Give me yogurt.
I will say,
Give me
Dannon.
Give me.
Hot take alert.
Whoa.
Give me yogurt.
Whoa.
Austin Jacobson
Wow.
is here.
He's
Look-
coming on in the next segment, so
he's-
don't go anywhere.
Look at that. He's got, is that a scarf? Is
The
this like a
hookup.
soccer scarf?
Wow.
Rally towels.
Look at this guy.
What a human being.
Everybody's looking at Austin Jacobson like he gets to talk to the radio people. How popular is this guy?
He's been on the zone a lot this week.
He's been on the zone more than most people.
He's been on the zone more this week than John Bishop has.
Got
Yeah.
him.
Now John is going to start catching up with him over the next few days because John is here at the
Every
ballpark
day.
doing games. So you're good with Spaceballs 2. You're just not good with almost all the other movies.
It's just like how many Jurassic Parks do we need?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to argue with you there. I have no desire to see the new Jurassic World movie.
I saw the first Jurassic Park with Jeff Goldblum. You know what?
Classic.
Did the job.
Yeah.
It was
You
good.
didn't want to see any others?
No.
You didn't like Lost World?
No.
What about Jurassic World 1?
Here's another thing, too. Can we stop naming sequels? Like, can we stop giving them names and just do numbers.
Oh, you just want it to be Jurassic Park 2?
1, 2, 3,
Jurassic
4.
Park. Jurassic Park 3 was called Jurassic Park 3.
Like it's just like I like.
And then it was Jurassic World.
Or you do this: Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, which is what they've done.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with
and
that.
then Star Wars Episode 5.
But I lose track sometimes of like the Avengers movies. Like I have to remember Age of Ultron was 2,
yeah.
and then Infinity War was 3.
So I mean,
and Endgame was 4.
but what's the purpose? Is it you just get annoyed then when people
I'm
say
just
the
lazy
number? Okay, I'm trying to figure out where
because
this
it's like
bothers you.
once when like what's a good example? Like Star Trek.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not Star Trek 1, 2, 3, or 4.
It's like
Star
Star
Trek
Wrath of Khan.
And I like forget which one came before which one.
Yeah.
And like
Thankfully the internet's there.
Or like Fast and Furious, right?
Yeah.
Like they started doing the numbers.
I thought they just always did the numbers.
No,
Well, they did Too Fast, Too
Furious,
Furious, and then Tokyo Drift. But then after that, I think it started going 4 or 5.
No, I don't think it was Fast and Furious 4. I think Fast and Furious 4 had a name to it.
Oh, really?
Then it was Fast 5.
I've only seen the first 2 Fast and Furious movies.
I stopped. You know, when they started putting like tanks in the water and stuff like
when
that.
When they went to outer space.
Yeah.
No,
I kind of checked out.
Yeah,
you know?
Understandable. All right. You know what we will not be checking out of? Listening to Austin. His voice is going to say many words, and we'll respond to those words and see what he thinks. We're looking forward to it. Austin's going to join us next as we get ready for Oregon State and Louisville. Pregame starts at 5:40 right here on 1620 The Zone.
You think
Welcome back to this special edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct, powered by Access Bank, here for a reason, yours, and by Children's Nebraska. And
Smile for the cameras.
we go to a special edition of the Zone Hotline, powered by the Sedoro Law Group. Your outcome depends on what you do next, and that's because we're talking to somebody in person, Austin Jacobson, best known as filling in on Unsportsmanlike Conduct this week.
Yes,
also from
that's
Herd
true.
Out Sports, hanging out with us here at the OBV. Hello,
That's true.
Austin.
Yeah, people originally knew me as the Connor Happer Show,
Yes.
main guest host. But now
Yeah.
I fear I have overcome that title, and I'm now
Wow.
mainly a guest appearance on Unsportsmanlike
on
Conduct.
the Grump. Sorry, Josh. Tough look for you.
That is
Austin,
tough. Sorry to hear that.
first question for you.
Yes.
I wonder what you think of this. So a friend of mine texted me and said, Matt with some real professor sits in a chair backwards energy. What do we think about Matt being the professor, turns the chair around? All right, my fellow students.
You do have the hair for it. You've been hitting on your students a little bit.
Oh,
but not,
no!
but not going all in and being like, hey, you know what?
Not
You
a
want some
total
good
creep.
grades? Yeah, exactly.
You know why I sit like this?
Why do you sit
I
like
have chronic back pain at
Oh, now we
23
have to
years
feel.
old.
Oh no.
And I have to saddle up.
Where is
in
the
order to,
martyr? Is the martyr baton somewhere around here? Can we give it out, or is it
you
anywhere
know,
to be found?
I just don't
Oh,
want
the
to.
martyr
I
baton.
just don't want to be questioned as to why I'm doing things, and then I give you a reason as to why I do them,
Fair.
and then I get made fun of about it.
Yeah.
So I'll just turn into Jalen Rose, and I'll just hold my bat.
Are you a lefty?
Yeah, I am. a
Let's go.
lefty.
Do you
Oh,
golf
nice.
left-handed
I
too?
do.
Let's
Nice.
go.
I do.
Handshake me. I
Are
do
you
as well.
an actual lefty though?
What do you mean?
Are you left-handed?
No, I'm like Ichiro.
Oh, okay. Why did you say it like that?
Because he
Ichiro.
throws right-handed.
No,
and
no,
he
no, no,
hits
no, no,
left-handed.
no, no.
Ichiro.
Yeah, why is that?
How do you
why,
say Ichiro?
Ichiro?
That's what I said.
No,
Ichiro.
you go Ichiro. You
Ichiro.
really sound out the syllables.
Ichiro. Do I?
No, I hear the same thing. I don't think it's any different.
Well,
Thank
are you just going to
You got
side
those
with him
huge-
the entire
yeah, we
radio
got
appearance?
Chicago ears.
You know
man.
what? He knows who butters his bread because if he came on the Gary and Matt show,
No,
as
I
a
don't
regular
worry about a
fill-in-
program like Gary and Matt. I'm strictly an
Well,
Unsportsmanlike Conduct
here's the
guest.
thing though. We show up to work, so you don't have to fill
Do
in
you?
for any of our shows.
Okay,
I do.
fair.
I do.
I do recall a couple weeks ago, I got this desperate message from one Matt McMaster.
Okay.
I'm sick as a dog.
By the way,
There's no way I can make it in the next morning.
by the way,
Please,
this was not.
please.
This was
How?
not.
How?
He had a martyr
this-
baton.
He did.
This was not a couple of weeks ago. This was early March. Okay, so this was 3 months ago. And yes, I was very
Relative.
sick.
He was sick as a dog.
I was sick as a dog,
Mm.
and I gave you the opportunity. And you
I don't
passed
like
on
that
it.
phrase, sick as a dog.
Sick as a dog.
It's not my favorite.
Well, it's like
Are dogs regularly sick?
Well, I think you always fear more for the sickness of a dog than yourself, more or less. Unless you're Connor Happer. He doesn't worry about the
yeah.
sickness
My
of
dog. I always wonder: do dogs get colds?
Do they
I
get the
couldn't tell.
sniffles?
You ever
Yeah.
talk to him?
Yeah, Banks sneezes, but it's just like when he's excited. He
Yeah,
wakes up and
right.
he's like
Yeah, yep,
sneezy,
yep,
sneezy, sneezy.
He just wants to get it going.
Yeah, but
don't they lick their paws if they got allergies?
Way to
or
say
something
pause.
like
That was good. Yeah.
What did I say?
Dogs lick many things. You gotta be careful with
I
that.
said pause.
All right, fair. Yeah.
Apparently, John Bishop's dog licks the leg of Jack Mitchell.
he licks the leg of Jack Mitchell.
That's
yes,
his
he
favorite
does.
thing to lick.
Yes,
That's
he
good.
does. Austin,
good.
what have you been up to today?
We've been working at the
Like a
Herdats-
dog. You've been
Yeah,
working
I've
like
been
a
working
dog.
like a dog.
Like a
Yep,
dog,
yep. I need
yeah.
my bowl of water out back.
It's going to be
I've
raining cats and dogs in a couple of
Is
days.
it? Oh no.
Oh,
We got-
Yeah,
you know,
Tuesday.
why would you even say that? You bringing that up?
I'm just looking at the weather reports.
No, we've just been working the Herd Sports booth down there. Try to get you guys some rally towels and try to keep you guys cool. The sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
Yep, we got one hat out there. It's old. It's
We
old
did
school.
have one hat
Yep.
out there.
Oh,
Okay,
he
got
threw a, yeah.
it. He just threw it in.
Josh said that's our giveaway now.
That's our gear.
But other than that, you know me, big TikTok boy, just doing my due diligence,
Cal,
seeing what I
send the
can.
TikTok camera out.
You wouldn't believe the characters I've run into today.
Tell us.
The Pickle Man I ran into. That was crazy. I met the LSU Shreveport NAIA undefeated national champion baseball team that's here.
Wow,
I never
that-
would have guessed that in a million
that
years.
is-
You also
That
won't
is a
bel-
mouthful to say.
Yeah,
by the
you
way.
also won't believe who they're rooting for.
Arkansas.
LSU. It's crazy.
Whoa.
I know. Who would have thought? They did claim that they could beat every team here except for LSU.
Oh,
So
that's-
there is that.
That's
But
some good
yeah,
stuff.
That is a classic.
I did ask them their thoughts on Nebraska football. They did say that Louisiana has better corn, which I doubt that.
I didn't even know they had
but
corn.
like like maybe dressed up corn. Like if you were to have the two states like dress up corn.
Oh, they talking about after they cook it and prepare a meal.
Right,
maybe.
yeah, I would.
No, I don't doubt that they season their corn better than us. That's definitely probably a possibility.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait, they're like, you season corn?
They're like, what do you guys do to season your corn? Oh, I just put butter on it. That's about it. I microwave it for about 30 seconds.
I was about to say, we actually just boil it, take it out of the pot, and eat it.
I don't know if I've ever boiled corn before.
You never. That's how I've always cooked.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
what do you mean?
Never. How else?
How do you
do
consume
it?
your corn?
I put it in
Corn
a
on the
pan
cob.
with some oil, and I just cook it in the pan with.
You make
with,
popcorn?
Yeah, you just
No,
make
no,
it
no,
popcorn
like
on the cob?
frozen pop, like
Popcorn
frozen
on the cob.
corn.
Oh,
frozen-
we're talking corn on the cob.
Oh,
Corn on the cob,
yeah. Normally,
Do we have to specify
I think
on
I
the cob?
steam it. I think I steam it when I do
Okay.
corn on the cob.
That's
Yeah.
basically the same as boiling. I mean, it's just a
drop
different
those
vapor,
suckers
so-
into that pot. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Or you
We
put
should-
it on the grill.
We
Yeah,
should have
as-
like a corn
as-
shucking competition up here. You guys should do
yeah.
that.
Well, you're from
Live
Western
sports.
Nebraska. You whoop our butts.
Yeah, you are looking at the 2014 corn
Jeez.
shucking champion of the Panhandle. So
Yeah,
no big
I'm a
deal.
city sucker.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
they told me I had
how
man
good,
hands after that.
how good do you think I'd be at shucking
City
corn?
boy over here?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
no.
from
you,
Chicago.
you just want to stick your hands in a deep dish and see how far they go. That's
And
what you wanna
your
do.
problem with that is
It's gross and disturbing. That's
You talking
Yes.
about his hands or the pizza or both?
well, it could be more than just his hand. That's what I'd be worried
the
about.
guy
Hey,
talking
sir.
who comes from the state
American
who dips,
Pie deep dish edition.
Well, technically, American Pie is just what a deep dish is. I mean, that's just,
I guess that's
Do
true.
you want to make American deep dish with Matt McMaster? Is that what you would like to do?
Man,
that would be a sequel that you wouldn't like.
Oh, because it's a different name.
well.
You'd hate that.
I wouldn't know if it's 1, 2, or 3. Like it would now if we
Mm.
did American Pie 2.
What if
deep
it's
dish.
American Pie too much deep dish?
See,
Oh, that's pretty
no,
good.
no, not a fan.
Not a fan?
But if I went to Chicago and I said I want to make this city deep dish again, I think I would win the mayoral election.
So do you have thoughts on like Little Caesars? Is that like a good pizza for you or
I've
not?
never had Little Caesars.
No, that's
before.
fair. Okay.
I do like Valentino's,
Respect.
but I like Valentino's in the stadium because
Respect.
I think that cardboard box does wonders for that slice
yeah.
of pizza.
People
I
in
think,
South Stadium would agree with you.
I think that condensation
It's better than regular Val's.
that
Yes.
1,000,000%. The condensation coming from that cardboard does some magic.
Plus
to that
the
hamburger
vibes of a
pizza.
game day.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if
I'm
Valentino's
shedding a tear
pizza,
thinking about it.
reiterated the same vibes from Nebraska game days. I feel like
Well, when
it's
I was
bad
in college, it was the Bow era, and they won a few games back then.
Did you just when I was a kid us right there? That's what you
I
just
don't
kind of did.
Rats.
I don't
I'm so
think-
old now.
I know the old person on.
I'm hanging out with the
1620 today.
Gen Z boys.
I know all we need is Nicholas Grimm to drop like a Pokemon.
I think
meme
the
and
only
good.
I think the only graduating class that won less football games than mine was like in the 40s.
Wow.
Yeah.
When the World War was happening.
Yeah.
The second one.
Literally. Like there has been no other graduating class who's won
Yikes.
less games.
Yeah, if it was 1940s and you were at UNL, they probably would have sent you off to war.
Yeah. How do you think he would have done?
You think it would have been okay?
No.
No. Okay.
By the way,
Not
Bruce
built for
says,
the trenches.
Bruce says that, no, that was World War One.
Oh, my
that
bad,
was
sorry.
the Great War.
Let
My
me
socks
apologize.
bother me. How do you think I do with trench foot?
Oh,
I'd
fair.
be
Again,
Trench
that's
foot.
the Great War. We're talking about World War II right now, boys.
You know what? A lot of things happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Bruce says that cats get colds.
Oh, cats get colds.
I didn't know that. So cats can
So
get
could I
colds.
say I'm sick as a cat?
I guess so. You should start working that in.
I'll see
Jacob,
what I
are
can
you
do.
a cat guy?
No. The rest of my extended family, big cat people,
Okay.
are the Jacobson solely. We are dog folk.
Have you ever
Female dogs specifically. No male dogs in the house.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't think I can
Listen,
say that
we're
word on the
we're
radio.
strong. We're strong American
A lot of kids
bloodline
around.
family. We have only males and then female dogs in our home. That's how we do it. Golden retrievers only.
This is very interesting.
Yep.
By the way, I
You
got
are-
a text. I got a
this is-
text.
I can't relate. You
Matt,
know?
I got a text from Severe, and he said that
Hi,
I have
Michael.
to correct you because when you said less a few minutes ago, you meant fewer. So Michael wanted me to let you know.
You know, here's my thing. A lot of people make comments about how I talk, but they text it to other people. You know, how about if you got a problem with my pontification of
Yeah.
words?
Oh,
Right?
that's how they pick a pope, isn't it?
I don't know.
Pontification.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just let me know about
Dude,
it.
I get texts or tweets and emails all the time about John. Tell John this.
Tell John.
You email John.
the amount.
Why am I telling John?
the amount,
you email
the amount
him.
of times that we go, hey, email us at the Equitable Bank inbox. Matt at 1620, Gary at 1620. And Gary will go, we're going to go to the Equitable Bank inbox where John emails me to tell you. Like, does John not know that he's literally 4 different letters away?
It's not that hard.
Just
Well, to
telling
be
me
fair, they have Gary's email on speed dial. They can just send that thing in a jiffy.
G shows up. They're ready to go.
I don't have the M figured out yet.
Let's ask one sports question
Please.
to Austin before he leaves. Who's going to win the College World Series?
Well, Coastal
Oh.
just handled some business.
Dude, are they ever going to lose again?
I mean, recent trends say no, obviously.
Hard to
I'll
argue.
tell you what. I have been impressed not only by the fandom, but of the resiliency of Oregon State.
He was commenting on that, too.
I do love the Beeve, as the kids say, because of the fact that they have been independent and have been having to travel so long. Their first, true home series was their regional and super regional.
That's
and
wild.
then the regional, they lost the very first day to St. Mary's and worked their way back. I like that resiliency. I like the tenacity.
Shout out.
I really like Oregon State. Respect.
So you said Oregon, but you just said Oregon. Which one is it?
Oregon, what do you want?
No, I just pick a slant.
You want
Jif or John?
Yeah, you want Ed Oregon to show up next? I mean, he can. LSU's in town. Please do.
Nice
Hey,
reference.
Are you convinced that Bryce Young is going to be better than CJ Stroud?
No, Bryce Young's definitely the guy. He shows up to OTAs. He's not sore in his shoulder. That's true.
He doesn't have.
In terms of current availability, it does appear the number 1 pick is available.
Does he still wear the backpack and look like a little kid?
He did wear high top shoes to OTAs the other day. He did look like he got dropped off.
My dad dropped me off for practice.
By the way, real quick, back to Matt's Mick complaints.
Yeah.
I think my least favorite saying is the best ability is availability.
Oh, wow.
I've been available, okay?
Yeah.
Nobody's calling me up to play, all right? Do you know what the best ability is?
Being good?
Ability. That is that whole,
Hot take.
the best ability is availability.
That's
No.
fair.
If
People
you
do love
can't,
saying that.
everybody here is available. None of them can play.
Okay, don't look at everyone when you do that.
You know what? I'm
there
a
was many
personable
married
guy.
people you looked in the eyes when you said that. That was very odd.
Well, none of these people can play
She's
college
available.
baseball.
And so is she. Oh, all right. Well,
All right.
go to the internet and you'll find Austin's great videos.
Yes, hoping to track. Connor Happer is out there listening. Happer, I'm trying to track you down.
Happer.
Happer,
That would
I'm
be.
looking for you.
We were talking off air
Those
about
would be a
some
real handshake meme.
great ideas
Yeah.
for some of that content.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Happer, well-known TikTok boy.
We have a list for you.
A list.
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready to see said list. Can't wait.
We don't have a list.
Okay.
Austin Jacobson, Herd at Sports, also a Panthers
pleasure.
fan.
Also a Panthers
Austin, great seeing you.
Always good to see the
Thanks
fellas
for coming
and Matt.
on, man.
Yep,
So good
yep.
to hang out with you guys.
Nice. Be sure to put
That's
your
the wrong side of the bat there, Chicago
Be
boy.
sure to put your sunscreen on and stay
Am
cool
I red?
out there.
Is that
No, I'm
bad?
just saying.
Oh,
Be
okay.
be sure to.
Because Dr. Girlfriend, she's gonna
Maybe
It'll
I'll
be a
button
bad
a button though. Maybe take a button off.
Listen. If this is the CWS I get melanoma from, that'd be bad.
Yeah,
Can't have that.
Nick Grimm would unbutton that button. That's for sure. He'd
Ooh.
want his chest hairs
Yeah,
he's
listen,
hanging out.
His testicles always be out.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Stop by the Zone booth
Justin
inside the
Turner.
Omaha Baseball Village and register to win ice cream
Thanks,
for a year from Ted and Wally's. Ted and Wally's official ice cream of 1620 The Zone, celebrating more than 35 years with over 3,000 flavors. Benson in the Old Market, Omaha. We'll come back. We'll do college football summer school as we roll on and get ready for this second game of the 2025 Men's College World Series. Oregon State, or Oregon State, as Austin just said, versus Louisville, or Oregon.
Or Oregon.
Oregon.
Origami.
Oregon State. That game's coming up in 50 minutes. Wow, the baseball is almost here. Josh Peterson, Matt McMaster, Josh Hodson hanging out. More to come. 1620 The Zone. It is the 75th anniversary of the Men's College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska, and one game is in the books. Coastal Carolina 7, Arizona 4 earlier today. Game 2 under an hour from starting. Pregame in 23 minutes for Oregon State and Louisville. And that one will have John Bishop, Gary Sharp, and Connor Happer on the call. We're going to do a little college football in a moment, but Austin, he just left. Matt, have you seen this? Have you heard about this? So Oakmont getting a lot of hype this week.
Yes.
We haven't even talked about the U.S. Open
No,
today.
we have not.
As the tweet from Fried Egg Golf says, Oakmont is taking its toll. Shane Lowry got to the 14th green, forgot to mark his golf ball, picked it up, and then realizes, wait a second, I didn't mark this. And he looks around and he sets it down and he looks over at his caddy. I'll show you the video. And he picks it up. And then he realized, wait a second. He sets it down, and then he looks, he smiles, he looks at his caddy. He probably says, crap, I didn't mark that, did I? And he's looking around, and then all he can do is shake his head. Oakmont beating the guys up.
Here's the funny thing about Shane Lowry.
Yeah?
He was out of the tournament anyway. He had a +9 yesterday.
Not great.
So
It's been a tough.
So we began today.
Yeah.
The leader was
4 under. Yeah.
Currently, right now, Thomas Dietrich, 3 under in the lead. So we've taken a step back.
The course strikes back.
So we got Dietrich and Sam Burns, who actually has had a really good day. He's 5 under, by far the best round on the course so far. And he's done. He's over. So heading tomorrow, Dietrich and Burns will be the first group. J.J. Spawn is hung in there. He was 2 over today at 2 under, along with Victor Hovland, who at one point a couple years ago was like the best golfer in the world.
I remember Kim coming out of Oklahoma State, man. People were pumped.
Had some major swing troubles over the last year. He tried changing things, and it went absolutely haywire. Seems like he's figured some stuff out very calmly and very slowly. He's in 5th place. And then we got Adam Scott. Longevity, man. I mean, the guy just cannot stop finishing in the top 10. Siwoo Kim is top 10, along with Brooks Koepka, who has not had a good day, 4 over on the day, but 2 over total. So if you're keeping score at home, if you are even, you're in 6th place. Wow. At the U.S. Open right
Not
now.
bad at all.
We are trending toward, we are probably going to have an over par U.S. Open champion. And if you've been keeping up with my bets, Keegan Bradley, who I got at +9,000, currently in 10th place.
Wow, I was just pointing at you, but thanks for the 5.
You're very welcome. I thought you were doing that. I deserved that after that really good bet.
Good work.
So,
good work by you.
Other notable names, Jason Day, he's in 13th place. He's at 3 over. Xander Schauffele's at 27th place at 4 over. John Rahm at 4 over. He's done for the day. He's in 27th place. He's along with Scotty Scheffler and Colin Morikawa, who are both at 4 over. So they 7 shots back of the lead. But I'm going to tell you something right now. There's going to be some blow-up holes, especially from this top group, especially if we get to some dudes who, these first 4 guys up here, Spawn, Dietrich, Burns, Lawrence, don't have a lot of championship experience. When you get to a Sunday of a major championship, a lot of jitters come in. That's when the Sharks come and attack. So Rahm, Scheffler, Morikawa, not all out of it. Our boy Rory McIlroy, if I can. I got to find him.
Control F.
No, he's not on here.
Wow.
We got to find Rory.
Is he struggling?
I think Rory's struggling.
Well, not great for him. We'll keep tabs on the
7 over.
Not great.
I don't know what the cut line is.
Well, it's definitely over par. We'll keep tabs on that throughout the weekend. Moving day coming up tomorrow. All right, we're winding down. Under 20 minutes, fewer than 20 minutes, under 20 minutes to go, somewhere in there. Michael Severe will correct me.
No, he'll text
me
you
to tell
correct you.
Thank you very much, Michael. College football summer school rolls on. We talked about Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State in our first show today. Now on Unsportsmanlike Conduct, Michigan, USC, Iowa. The question we are asking, biggest game of the season. And, of course, the qualifier is if they're going to reach a goal that they need to get to. We're just going via the odds. And so the 4th in the odds for the Big Ten Conference are the Michigan Wolverines. Much like Austin, when we talked about Ohio State earlier, this is an easy one for me, and it is the Ohio State Buckeyes. I could hear an argument for a different game. Like, honestly, I kept peeking at that Oklahoma matchup just because it's so early, and maybe it tells the story of how the season is going to go. But I guess to do that for me, it would have to mean a loss. and I don't think they're going to lose to Oklahoma. So that's why I said, like, Ohio State's the biggest game on their schedule every year. And if they're able to get a 5th straight win, it's been a long time since they've had that many wins in a row against Ohio State. So I don't know if this is being too easy or if I'm just straight wrong, but I think Ohio State's the biggest game of the year for Michigan.
Yeah, I think at home against Northwestern for me on November 15th.
Oh, big game. Huge game.
I thought you'd fall for that. Oklahoma.
You're going to go with the Sooners?
I just think it's – I don't want to call it a cop-out.
Yeah.
Too easy to say Ohio State. But I think it is just so important that it's already kind of embedded in its – like, it's almost like you can kind of just – like, yeah, obviously, like, let's just kind of throw it out, especially where they are after winning the national title. I don't think they're in a rebuild. They're more in a retool.
Sure.
Right? So – that game is always going to be close. It's always going to be competitive. I think for the reasons you kind of brought up why you would think Oklahoma is why I'm going to go
why
with
you're
Oklahoma.
Actually going to go with Oklahoma.
Because it is a barometer for, okay, is this Michigan team like – if you
is Bryce Underwood the real deal?
Is he the real deal? Have they really reloaded on the defensive side of the ball after losing Mason Graham, after losing Kenneth Grant, after losing Will Johnson? They have a ton of talent. The recruiting classes in the transfer portal have been absolutely incredible. But are they actually – those type of guys? Do they have the next kind of wave of really great defensive players that helped win a national championship for Michigan? And they're anchored by a really good linebacking core who, funny enough, is guy in the middle, is a former Nebraska Cornhusker, Ernest Hausman, who, funny enough, on this very magazine is on the cover, So I would go with Oklahoma just because I think it's a great tone setter for what we think Michigan can be. And I think early in the season, especially with a true freshman quarterback, you beat a team like Oklahoma.
And it's on the road.
What is a better confidence builder?
Yeah, they got 2 road games in the first month of the season. They got that game and then, of course, the game in Lincoln.
Like, how do you get the fan base more fired up than going on the road to Norman with a freshman quarterback and beating an Oklahoma team that's desperate?
Yeah,
Oklahoma's got John Mateer. Oklahoma's invested in Jaden Ott. They've got Brett Venables, man.
Yeah, talk about a coach that's on the hot seat.
Yeah, so Oklahoma needs that game. You could probably make the argument that
Michigan is for Oklahoma. It's either that or Texas, if we did the same exercise for the Sooners. So I like the reasoning, and that's why I very much considered it, and I'm happy that you decided to pick that so we could talk about that game a little bit more.
Yeah.
USC is up next as we go team by team in the Big Ten Conference. Fascinating team. We just talked about a hot seat coach. In Brent Venables. Year 4 for Lincoln Riley. Of course, it's year 4 for Venables because all of that stuff happened at the same time in the same offseason. So I am going to go with, for them, actually, you can go first here.
I got to flip to my USC Spartans.
All right. What is the biggest game of the season for Lincoln Riley's USC Trojans?
I think it's at Nebraska.
Ooh, tell me why.
I just think it's a winnable game.
It's a winnable game.
And when you're a coach on the hot seat, you have to win those winnable games, and the ones that are kind of like 50-50 in a way, right? I think it might have been on your show. You were going through those rankings of what are the deciding, like the percent chances that each team is going to win the game.
Yep.
I think that's a 53-47 game, if I'm not correct.
It was a short USC favorite, if I remember right. Yeah, you're talking about Kelly Ford from K Ford Ratings.
Yeah.
Michael and I talked to him yesterday, and according to K Ford's numbers, Nebraska has a 47% chance to win. 50-50.
It's one of those things where, they play Notre Dame. Okay? They play Oregon. They play better teams than Nebraska.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, importance for USC and importance for Lincoln Riley keeping his job, right?
Yep.
That is the difference between being 8-4 and 7-5. That's the difference between being 9-3 and 8-4, right? That one game kind of swings into your favor. If they lose and they're 7-5, we're talking about Lincoln Riley. Like, is he really the guy for the job? But if they're 8-4 and they win that game, you kind of can make the argument. All right, like things are heading in the right direction here. So
interesting.
It's a swing game.
Yeah, the argument you make is why I'm actually just going to go 1 week up, and I'm going to go with Notre Dame. And here's why. So their schedule early, very manageable. At Purdue week 3, Michigan State week 4, at Illinois week 5, which is a tricky one. But they have this stretch in October and then into early November. Michigan at home, rivalry, or not rivalry, but a blue blood game. At Notre Dame, obviously a rivalry matchup. Off week at Nebraska. And so I'm going to go with Notre Dame because it's sandwiched in between those two. And, like, all the things you said about Lincoln Riley, I think we can apply to this game, because if they lose to their rival again, and this is a team suddenly, like, we viewed USC throughout much of my lifetime as like they're the way better recruiter. They're where you'd rather go if you're between them and Notre Dame. And now suddenly Notre Dame looks like the better recruiter.
What did Urban Meyer say? He goes, you try to go 7-5 at Ohio State, and he views USC kind of the same way as Ohio State. Now,
correct.
We're taking different approaches here, because to me, I'm kind of looking at it as, okay, how does Lincoln Riley get enough wins to keep his job, right? Mm-hmm. But if they were to beat Notre Dame, that's not just like, oh, you keep your job. That's like you're beating one of the top 10 teams in the country.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And it's like, all right, the impact of that win isn't just, hey, we're getting wins. You look back and you're like, oh, they beat Notre Dame. Now,
and what if they went 0-2 in the stretch before that with Illinois and Michigan? Hell, what if they went 1-1? Suddenly you're like, try not to go 1-2 or 0-3 in the stretch.
I don't think they're going to beat Notre Dame. Like, I don't think that's –
I don't either.
That's one of my
So things you're almost just chalking it up as an L, and so that's why we can't even –
That's why – a little bit, yeah, because, like –
That's fair.
And we'll get to these, like, weirder teams, right? Like, in the middle and, lesser of the pack.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to get through 7-9 and then 10-12 in the afternoon.
I haven't looked at Rutgers yet, but it might just be, like, a random game against Northwestern.
Yeah,
it's just like, hey, man, if you're going to go if you're going to make a bowl game.
Yeah.
This is the game you have to win to make.
Because eventually we're going to leave this group of like playoff and national championship
where you got to beat the best teams.
Yeah, where it's just like, all right, can you kind of survive in advance?
I think, it's easy for me to say because it's the team that we cover. You can make the argument that Nebraska, you could pick 4 different games.
Yeah, and we'll pick them tomorrow, and that'll be a fun conversation.
That'll be an incredible conversation.
Speaking of Nebraska, their rival, the Iowa Hawkeyes, our third and final team that we will do in this segment.
It's a weird one.
This is a weird one, and so I'm really curious to see where you go with it. The early part of their schedule, mostly forgettable, though Iowa State is on the road. Indiana at the start, or at the very end of September, rather, but they have Penn State on the schedule at home.
Yeah.
They have Oregon on the schedule at home.
Yeah.
They go to the USC Trojans, a team we just talked about.
I know.
They travel to Wisconsin in October. They, of course, travel to Nebraska on Black Friday. I'll go first with this one. I settled on Minnesota for them. And again, it's kind of like the argument that I just made for USC, and that is where it is sandwiched.
Sure.
The week before, they're playing Penn State. The week before that, they're actually at Wisconsin, excuse me. The game after Minnesota, Oregon. The game after that at USC. Like, dude, that is a brutal stretch. And I didn't even mention Indiana that comes at the start of that. So it goes Indiana, Wisconsin, Penn State, Minnesota, Oregon, USC in a row. Like, that is a brutal stretch. And so I'm kind of looking smack dab in the middle against a team that in the PJ Fleck era, and thus the Kirk Ferentz era, they have owned. They got to get a win there. I think mainly because I don't think that they're going to be able to have as good of a record as they did last year. And so I think that could be kind of swing game decider for them.
I think they have 3 swing games on the schedule.
Okay.
You named one of them.
Yeah.
The other one that they have, I'm pretty confident they're going to win because the other team has proven that in this recent history they can't beat them. And that's
Nebraska. Okay.
So
you're going with Iowa to win in Lincoln.
So the other game that I really have as a swing game is the USC game, where they're at USC, because I think that's the difference between 7-5 and 8-4, right? I almost picked Iowa State. I was very close.
Is it just because it's so early?
It's way too early.
So early. Yeah.
And they don't play anybody really good after that. They play UMass and then Rutgers.
Yeah. And then the gauntlet starts.
And then, but like, if they play if they were to play Iowa State in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
And they could carry that into like
the back half.
That'd be great. I pick that automatically. The fact they can't do that, give me USC because I think that's a winnable game. I think they actually match up pretty well against USC, considering the fact that they got a really good secondary, and USC is still trying to build a Big Ten roster where they can handle the size up front.
Yeah.
So, once again, when we get to these middle teams,
which we'll do tomorrow,
what is the difference between 7-5 and 8-4?
And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about for those
teams. And so, for me, it's at USC.
I like that. So that's the exercises we'll continue to roll on. We'll do some other stuff as well throughout the next few days as we get ourselves caught up, and hopefully you caught up as well on what's going on in the college football world. It is a One Beer Friday here on the special edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Let us know what you are drinking as the weekend arrives, whether you are down here at the ballpark or elsewhere. We will come back and get you ready for pregame of Oregon State and Louisville, and then send you up to the booth. John, Gary, Connor Happer down on the field, and say goodbye on this Friday, day one of the 75th Men's College World Series here in Omaha, Nebraska. Josh Peterson, Matt McMaster, Josh Odson hanging out here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Jake Janicek back in our studios. One segment left on 1620 The Zone. Peterson, Matt McMaster, Josh Odson here. Jake Janicek back at our Zone Studios. Congratulations to you, Matt.
Thank you.
You are an uncle.
I am officially an uncle.
For the first time?
Eleanor Grace McMaster.
Let's go.
6:03, Friday the 13th.
6:03. Oh, East Coast time.
Yeah, they are on the
Coast
East Coast.
time.
They're in Ohio.
Nice.
She, I don't know. Let me see. I don't know if I got a height and weight here. I always think of Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
It's like baby Jesus, 5 pounds, 4 ounces. Couldn't even say her first words yet. No, I do not have a height, weight, or wingspan or any sort of measurables here. She looks exactly like my brother.
Yeah?
She looks a lot like my brother.
Well, congrats to your brother.
Yes. Congratulations, Christopher.
That is awesome. Congrats to you. Congrats to the whole family.
Yes.
That's got to be
very
very
happy.
exciting.
Congrats to Mom, by the way. Congrats
And
to
Mom.
Sarah,
Yep,
who
yep,
actually gave birth.
Shout out to Sarah and
Yes.
shout out to the entire McMaster family
Hello.
as they've now grown.
My parents are now grandparents.
Wow. Shout out to your parents.
That is crazy.
And shout out to you, Matt. You're going to be the best uncle around.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be okay.
You'll be
I'll
all right.
fine.
I mean, probably absent because you're here in Omaha.
Yeah, it'll be Dayton, Ohio, not too close from here, and I don't know if Omaha flies directly to Dayton. We'll figure it out.
I have a guess.
We'll figure it out.
Oregon State and Louisville, Matt, coming up in about a half hour.
Should be a
Who
good
you
game.
got?
Give me Louisville. I love their coach. Dan McConnell's just a great guy.
Yeah.
He's great. I mean, they've battled a lot. Regionals weren't necessarily easy. Super regionals weren't necessarily easy. They had a lot of fight. Really love, though, their coach, and I think this team takes the attitude of their coach. And it hasn't, like I said, these last couple of years hasn't necessarily been easy sledding for the Louisville Cardinals, but they're back here. They're ready to fight. I think Oregon State is one hell of a team as well, but give me Louisville.
I'm going to go with the Beavs as they continue a nice little hot streak after what they did in the Supers to get here. Day one for you. Morning show, get down here, this show, hanging out watching baseball, another show. How we feeling?
I'm feeling
One day
good.
down.
2 energy drinks in. I need a shower.
Need a shower. Get ready to say that a lot over the next week.
Need a shower, but I am pumped. I am jacked to be back here tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to go through, again, a few teams. We'll do that in the morning show. We'll do that in the in-between game show. 3 teams apiece, rather, on their biggest game. So we'll do that. Also, a ton of stuff happened with the settlement today.
Yeah, you said that to me, and I kind of looked at
We're going to sift through some of the reporting and what's going on there. I think there was like a 40-page PDF. I ain't going to read no 40-page PDF. So I'm going to read the articles about the 40-page PDF and find out what's going on there. So we'll talk about some of that. And, I don't know, probably a little Game 4 reaction with the NBA Finals.
Yes.
If they roll on, we'll certainly talk about the baseball as well. And whatever else tickles our fancy. Maybe you complain about some more stuff.
I'm going to complain about way more.
I'll have another question. Earlier, I asked you what's worse, being a Cowboys fan or a Bears fan.
Forgot you did that.
Yeah, so we'll do another question as we get to know Matt here at the College World Series. Who
Absolutely.
knows? Josh will probably have a couple takes.
Josh always has a couple
We need
takes.
more
and
YouTube comments
He's got
tomorrow.
the odd news.
Yeah, you want to do odd news on the weekend, or is there odd news on the weekend? Is the news still odd?
We're going to make sure the news is odd.
All right.
If I have to make the news odd to get odd news, I will.
All right, perfect. So I look forward to finding out what happens with you tonight. To,
Look at the Omaha scanner.
We'll check that tomorrow. But for now, we'll send it up to the broadcast booth. John Bishop, Gary Sharp, Connor Happer down on the field. Oregon State and Louisville, the nightcap of day one here at the 75th Men's College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. Thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget to let us know what you're drinking on this One Beer Friday. For Matt, for Josh, for Jake, I'm Josh. Have a great Friday night. Enjoy the baseball. We will talk to you tomorrow at 10 a.m. right here on 1620 The Zone.